Hi, my name is Tim Hubbard. I'm a PhD candidate here at the University of Georgia. Thank you very much for participating in this study. I'm excited to be introducing this business simulation game to you. We've been working on the technology for over 2 years now, and I'm happy to have you run through it for us. In this business simulation game, at a high level, you'll be taking control of a manufacturing company and making decisions on how to run it as you compete against 5 other people. We're working in collaboration with other universities around the country, and UGA is just one of those universities. At this point, you should have completed a registration survey. If possible, I'd appreciate it when you are ready to play to find a quiet spot without distractions to complete the simulation. Also, if you don't mind, please turn off your cell phone. This will reduce distractions as you play the game. The game will take around an hour to complete, and it will begin at the time that you've picked. So make sure that you log in on time. It's really important because we're synchronizing across the different schools, and so we have other people from other universities that are going to be participating at the same time. So it's important for everybody to be there at the same time. So in this video, I'm going to point out some things that I think are critical as you play through the game. And if you have any questions, I'm going to give you my email address at the end. You can jot that down and just let me know. So first thing I want to kind of go through is the benefits for TRP Research Pool. You will get a half hour of credit for registering, completing the registration survey, watching this instructional video, and logging on at your scheduled time. Further, you'll get 1 hour of credit if you fully participate in the simulation. That is, you run the company like you would, like you really would, through the final survey. So that means you logged in on time, you've submitted all of your decisions on time, and you've finished the final survey. And then as a bonus, so you can get extra credit, you get an extra half hour of TRP Research Pool credit if you have the highest stock price at the end. So that is, if you win the game, you get an extra half hour. When you finish watching this video, if you don't mind, on the right-hand side here, there's a quiz. If you could just run through and answer those 4 questions. All of those things we're going to cover in this video, and they should be quite evident. If you answer them right, the red circle around it turns green, and this is just a quick check that you've hit the highlights of the points in the video. When you do log in for the first time, when you play, it's going to ask you for several prompts. For example, recall and write about a time in which you were, and it'll give you a prompt. Important thing here, don't worry about spelling, grammar, anything like that. Just try to type 200 characters or more about that specific event, and just try to get as much down as you can, and that'll be good. It'll kind of keep everything moving. At the end of the 2 minutes, it will automatically cycle you to the next. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to click next or anything like that. At a high level, the simulation, what's going to happen is you're going to run a small manufacturing firm, and you're going to be trying to get customers to buy your product. And the way you do that is through developing products, launching products, etc. And while you're trying to do that, there's going to be 5 competitors at different schools, and they're going to be trying to do the exact same thing. And so you're going to be competing against them, and what we've tried to do is build the strategic decisions and everything to match real-world conditions. So based on the type of choices you've made and the type of choices that your competitors have made, you'll either become more or less profitable as the game goes along. So let's pause, let's look at the game real quick, and we'll see how it runs. When the game starts, you're going to see a screen similar to this. There's several points that I want to make as we look around so that you're better acquainted when you start playing. First, there's going to be a graph of your stock price up here. It's going to show you against all of your competitors. And in the first round, everybody starts at the same stock price, 10, and that's a good point. Every team starts with the exact same resources, same setup, everything. So everyone starts at a level playing field, and over time you'll start to see that the stock price changes and the graph will fill out. On the right, there's a highlighted section of company financials. Here you'll see the revenue, profit, stock price, and percent change in stock price for you and all of the competitors. Everyone is a publicly traded company, so you can come down here and do view financials, and it'll bring you to the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement for your company and all the other companies. To get back to the dashboard, there's two ways. On most screens, there's back to dashboard, and also here on the left, there's a link to the dashboard. And if you want to get to the financials, there's a link here, view detailed financials, or this second one will take you to the same place. If we go back to the dashboard, one thing that we've been adding and working really hard to get right is the media coverage. And so as you play the game, the media is going to report on you and your competitors, and this is where you can see what they're writing about. We've based this on real media coverage, and in the first round, they kind of describe some of the things a little bit more how to play. So anytime you want to see more details about the media, either click View Article here, or on the left-hand side, click Media, and it'll take you to a page with a bit more detail on not only then the title that you saw on the front page, but also then the article details themselves. If we go back to the dashboard, a few other things to note. At the very top here, there is a timer with the amount of time before the round ends. So currently there's 6 minutes and 45 seconds left. You can see here's where it says the exact time when it's going to end. And what's important about watching that is when you're playing against a number of different people, we have to synchronize all of the decisions. So you need to make sure that you've submitted your decisions before that time period. And the way you make decisions is you come down here to make decisions, and it's going to bring up this dialog box. Each round you're appointed 100 points that you can invest, and you can invest by just dragging across each of these. And so if we go down these lists, we have research and development. It's work directed towards the innovation, introduction, and improvement of products and processes. High levels of research and development typically associated with innovative and differentiated products. Advertising is marketing communications that are used to sell something. Higher advertising spend increases the awareness of your products to your customers. The next one is plant upgrades, which are improvements in manufacturing facilities. These investments reduce the cost of production and increases the volume of the plant, capable how much they can produce. Sales and support are the amount of money spent on the sales force and support teams that sell and service the product. Greater levels of investment are associated with better customer experiences with the employees of the company. Mergers and acquisitions are investments in buying or merging with other companies. Rationale is that two companies are worth more together than they were separately. Mergers and acquisitions are risky, but the payoffs can be really good. Inventory is the stock of production that's currently on hand for customers to purchase. Low levels of inventory run the risk of stockouts where customers want to buy a product, but they're unable to. And so for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to pull some of these across. We're going to save and close. That then saves the decisions, and then just make sure that you come up and actually submit the round. So you have to click this button after you've made your decisions. You sure you want to submit the round's decisions? Yes, I do. And then it's always going to ask you to rate how well your performance is going to be in the next round, how sound your strategy is, and how confident are you in your strategy. That's going to happen every round except for the third round, which will have a few more questions, but the same base ones, and the last round, which will have a few more questions, since we're going to try to get an idea of how the game worked and everything. So once the round is submitted, you have to wait for the round timer to end. That way everybody else has submitted their decisions and it's time to move on. One thing I would like to recommend is to try to build a cohesive strategy. So strategies could reflect a desire to sell, for example, low-cost products or differentiated products, or some balance between the two. And so you could kind of imagine how, if you invest heavily in research and development, you could have a more differentiated product. If you invest more in your plant, you could have a larger volume, cheaper production. If you invest in advertising, you might be able to get more customers that way. Anyway, point being, try to make sure that the decisions that you make are based in some kind of strategy. That helps us then assess whether or not the game is working, how it should. You need to make sure that you invest all 100 points each round. Make sure that you save those decisions and submit the round before the time. There's the quick surveys. After you've completed the rounds, You'll get credit after it's all done. We'll go through a few of those here in a second. Let me bump back to the PowerPoint real quick. So in conclusion, at this point, we've talked about the decisions, we've talked a little bit about how to play, some key points that I wanted to make. There are 5 people playing at the same time, so please be respectful of that. So log in on the time that you've scheduled. It's very important. Otherwise, it offsets all the research and all the teams that are playing and all the other universities. So please come on time. Along those same lines, please submit your decisions on time. If you don't submit your decisions, the game stops for you. And so, important part of getting the credit that we've talked about is to submit all of the decisions as you go along. Each round is 8 minutes long, so make sure you watch the clock, make sure you pay attention and submit the rounds. And to the right, there's a quick quiz to complete. There's just 4 questions, and so if you don't mind answering those, like I said, it'll circle around the red around each one will turn green when you've answered right. Those just hit some of the very high highlights. So I'm going to step out, and if you guys need anything else, email me at thubbard@uga.edu, and good luck. Hope everything goes well. Thanks so much for your help. I really appreciate it.